2, 1.
Yes, people say they understand the concept of the eunuchs of the kingdom of heaven's sake, but the unfortunate truth is that people think that they've figured out this particular part of the doctrine, but they didn't. In other words, the Catholic Church has had men dedicated to the priesthood who are basically supposed to be celibate virgins and ordained at the cross and everything else as brides. But that's not exactly what Christ Jesus was actually talking about. What this actually meant was a living sacrifice of men who would be dedicated to a king, a royal priesthood, as living sacrifices. This is an ancient concept that went back in Israel to an order called the ancient order of Melchizedek. In other words, these men were actually, in a sense, married to God. But what it was really marriage to was an altar. The lamb and the lamb's wife actually represent these men as walls. Walls around a literal city, 36,000 on each side of a city, which is the four walls of love, good, wisdom, and truth. Kind of like a shield around this bride, the presence that goes with the bride, the lamb's wife. So these men actually represented kind of a virgin shield for the kingdom. Unfortunately, what happened is these 144,000 men were not actually gathered by the person that was supposed to have done it. A Korean gentleman known as Sun Myung Moon. Instead, they got married. He married them all, and the children of the resurrection went on to marry or be given in marriage, simply because to be equal unto the angels, that's not a possibility. But they weren't made virgins; they were married, all of them, and the only one that was actually left happened to be myself, who I guess you'd say waited for the right man. So what's happened now is the eunuchs for the kingdom of heavens are actually the clouds on which he comes. This is those dedicated to his service, first fruits unto God and the Lamb. They're written because they actually define this city which comes down from heaven. In other words, we're looking at men who will take the idea that they don't want to just love Christ, but be lovers of Christ, and that means to be made women. Eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake, therefore, actually represents a virgin priesthood, of people that would take a vow of celibacy, knowing that they would actually become this city, these living stones, the bride, the Lamb's wife.